Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranams. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura Ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jīva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Srila Haridas Ṭhākura Ki Jai Prem Se Koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Grantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Rāsa-pañcādhyāyī Ki Jai Shri Indira Akadashi Titi Ki Jai Titi Palankari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Sarva Vraja Devi Gan Ki Jai Shri Raseshwari Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini Shrimati Radha Ṭhakurani Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaiṣṇava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Om Jnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayanati Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Sorry guys. Yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta krityam Dvaipayano virahaka tara ajuhava Putreti tanmayataya taravo bhinedustang sarva bhutta hridaya munimanatosmi Narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet Shrinvatang svakatha Krishna punya shavana kirtana Hridantastoya bhadrani vidhunoti suhritsatam Nashta prayeshvavadreshu nityang bhagavata sevaya Bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina Iti vigyaya radhe tvam nayamang charanantikam Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay Shivdashtakamaditaranga madhe Kripa maitvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dandavat pranams, everybody. So I right now, it's 10:30 p.m. here in Vrindavan, and feeling a bit sleepy. Had a long day today and have some rounds left, so I'm going to do a very short reading now. I'm pre-recording because tomorrow morning I'm going out on Vrindavan parikrama with one devotee, so I won't be here to read live. But I didn't want to break the flow again. I already don't do a reading once a week. I don't want to make it twice, twice in 1 week. So, sorry, I'm not able to speak clearly. I'm tired. So we'll be going over just verse 32, which is kind of a long purport. So, yeah, I think this will be I'm guessing, half an hour reading. All right. So, and I'm not going to do too much of a recap, just so that we can get through it. Let me try. How do I do this? Sorry. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So this morning, which will be yesterday, or when you watch it, we went over verse 30 and 31. So we'll just read the translation of those two verses, and then we'll get into. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's read from here. The heck? How come I can't make this full screen? Oh, that's so interesting. I opened it up in... Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's begin. The Gopīs, being filled with the topmost prema for Śrī Kṛṣṇa, had given up all desires for his sake. Thus they remained unwavering in their love for him. Even upon hearing his cruel words, his harsh utterances aroused splitting pain in them. His harsh words aroused such splitting pain in them that their eyes filled with tears, causing them to lose their power of sight completely. Wiping away their tears, they replied to him, their voices faltering due to love-laden anger. The Gopi said, "O omnipotent one, O dearest beloved, you are all-pervading, so you know our hearts. It is not proper for you to speak such cruel words to us. We, your loving maidservants, have given up all our material attachments so that we can devote ourselves to serving your lotus feet. There is no doubt that we have no control over you, because you are independent and obstinate. Still, you should reciprocate with us, just as the primeval Lord Bhagavan Narayan mercifully fulfills the desires of those who seek liberation from this world. Do not discard us." It's a long purport we did. Okay. So now we come to this verse we're reading today, verse 32. Let me make this smaller. Put this up there. How come it's not letting me there? Now it's letting me zoom. Yat patyapat suhrid. Yat Patya suridam anuvritte ranga Strinam swadharma iti dharma vida tvayoktam Astvevam aetarupadesha pade tvayishe Preshto bhavangstanubhritam kila bandhuratma. O beloved, you are fully conversant with the esoteric aspects of religion. You have instructed us on the ethical principle that a lady's prescribed duty is to serve her husband, children, and relatives appropriately. According to this, we should serve you, our preceptor, because you, being directly the Supreme Lord, are the ultimate goal of all instructions. You are the dearmost friends and the very soul of all living beings, so service to you automatically includes the service of husbands and children. Śrīla Swāmīpad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. The Gopīs said sarcastically, "O Krishna, you know all the principles of religion. Thus you are telling us that a lady's prescribed duty is to serve her husband, children, and relatives. You are imparting religious instructions to us, but keep your counseling to yourself." One might ask, what is the reason to give such advice? The answer is this: you are the Supreme Lord. According to the truths revealed in the scriptures, all instructions lead to you, so you are the only suitable object for all these instructions. Krishna might respond, "How do you know that I am the Supreme Lord?" Anticipating this, the Gopi said, You are certainly the paramount soul, the enjoyer of all that exists. You are indeed the Supreme Master. Thus, you are the dearmost friend of all living beings, so whatever duties we have towards our kinsmen culminate in you. We have followed whatever instructions you gave us. We would have followed whatever instructions you gave us if you were a religious teacher, and we had come to inquire from you about Dharma. Accepting that you are truly knowledgeable regarding Dharma. But you are not a spiritual teacher, and furthermore, we have not come to inquire about Dharma. Rather, you are the Supreme Soul, the conclusion of all religions. So since we have achieved you, why do we need to perform any other religious procedure? Bhartu Shunam Strinam, that's Srimad Bhagavatam 10:29-24. These instructions that you have given should remain with you only. Don't you know that instruction should be given to those who need it, who need it? But you are the Supreme Lord and Master. Are masters like this? Should you give such instructions to those who have accepted you as master? No, this can never be proper. One second, I just need to check something. I got WhatsApp messages. I'm just wondering if I'm speaking too loudly. Okay. There. No. I was wondering if it's Indira Mataji because her door is nearby. Okay. Krishna, why do you say that it is not proper to give such instructions to those who see me as their master? The Gopis answered, You are the soul and the ultimate goal of all living beings. You are telling us that our husbands deserve our service, but actually you occupy the post of husband. One might ask, how so? The Gopis replied, You are the Supreme Lord, the presiding deity of all husbands and children, and the master dwelling in everyone. Husbands and children have no existence without the Supreme Lord. Take the example of someone mistaking a rope for a snake. In this instance, the snake is situated in the rope, but one who has understood the reality of the rope does not think of a snake. In the same way, how will the presence of so-called husbands and children delude those who have understood that everything dwells in you? All the rest is the same, and there's no need to expand the discussion any further. I think this is the longest purport from Srila Swāmī yet. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pads Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. Śrī Kṛṣṇa might object. Bhartu shushushunam strinam. It is a woman's duty to serve her husband and other family members. Why are you violating this injunction? For noble ladies such as yourselves, serving one's husband is the supreme dharma. Why are you transgressing this command? The Gopīs anticipated that Krishna would present the doctrine expounding karma mimamsa, and they countered with Vedanta, Brahma mimamsa. They countered with Vedanta, which is Brahma mimamsa, which is the ultimate conclusion of the absolute truth and which opposes karma mimamsa. On the strength of their intellect, they showed the shortcomings in Krishna's statement by imposing Atma Tattva on him. And in the present verse, Yat Pati, they affirm, we are not involved in any irreligious act. Dharma vid, knower of religion, is a sarcastic comment referring to Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Your directive that a woman's topmost duty to serve her husband portrays the actual knowledge of a dharma vid like you. Upadeshapad. In reality, this instruction applies to you only. Here the phrase Upadeshapad means the collective instructions from all the scriptures. Shastra yo nitvat. That's Brahma Sutra. That's why I got confused. It's Shastra Yonitvat. It's one word, not two separate things. Shastra Yonitvat. It's third verse from beginning of Brahma Sutra. Brahma is the origin of all the scriptures. All the Vedas and other scriptures give evidence for this. Tattu samanvayat. And that's the fourth. There should be a space in between those two words. So, tattu samanvayat. Brahma Sutra, fourth verse. All the scriptures are linked with Brahma. According to this logic, all the conclusions of the scriptures terminate in Brahma, the Supreme Spirit. So this instruction of serving one's husband actually applies to him. Śrī Kṛṣṇa might say, how can I be the subject matter of all the teachings of the scriptures? The Gopīs shrewdly reply, certainly you are the Supreme Soul. One might ask, how is that? The answer is this. You are the dearmost of all embodied beings. When a person loves someone else, they do so for the pleasure of their own soul. And you, the Supreme Soul, are the object of everyone's unalloyed prema. You are also everyone's ever well-wisher and pure-hearted friend. Paramatma, the Supersoul, infuses the living force into the senses and bodies of all the living beings. So you are their dearest friend. This proves that you are the Supreme Soul and the Almighty Master. Consequently, you are the only one worthy of service, and by that service to you, one reaps the result of all kinds of religious performances. This is the meaning. Krishna might say, O worshipful ones among the society of righteous people, you may give up all the objects of sense enjoyment if you wish, but you must still perform your own duty. The Gopīs respond with a bit of envy with the phrase Yat Pati. You are imparting instruction, but it is you who should be the object of that instruction, not us. You are the right candidate for your religious commands. Krishna might say, how is this possible? The Gopīs reply with the words Preshta, dearmost, and Bandhu, you fulfill all desires. You attract the hearts of all the embodied living beings because you inspire everyone as the presiding deity of the heart. Therefore, you are the soul. It is your fault, not ours, and you are the one who must be taught to rectify your fault. Śrīla Swāmipad's explanation is in the mood of awe and reverence, but it is relevant for this commentary as well. He has proved that the only Supreme Soul is to be accepted by explaining the theory of illusion, Vivartavad, in which one mistakenly accepts the individual soul as a Supreme Spirit, Brahma. And he has also given the logic of briefly accepting a hypothetical tenet, Abhyupagama. He has indicated that Atma is the enjoyer, without specifying whether the soul is Jivatma or Paramatma. Yet it should be understood that this Atma indicates the Supreme Lord, who is the sole enjoyer. An example is given to explain this point. The king is called the enjoyer of the country, but it is actually the residents and not the king who relish the kingdom. Here the enjoyer means the master or controller. In the same way, this enjoyment of the soul is also understood as the enjoyment of the Supreme Lord. If this meaning is not accepted, then Śrī Kṛṣṇa is understood to be a Jīva, in which case the present subject becomes meaningless. The Supreme Master is implied, not the Jivas, the individual souls. This means that as the Supreme Controller, he is the enjoyer of all objects. Nevertheless, Śrīla Swāmipād has not specifically said this. He has only used the word Atma in a general sense to establish that Śrī Kṛṣṇa is Sarva Swarupatva, meaning that everything is in him and nothing is separate from him. In his commentary, Śrīla Swāmipād gives a second meaning. For example, "You are not the instructor of Dharma, and we have not come to you to inquire about it. You are Atma, you are the soul." This statement should be understood as a humble entreaty. Atma cannot be the instructor. It has to be Atma cannot be the instructor. It has to be somebody else. Atma cannot be the teacher of Atma. So we do not have any instructor, and we have seen you, the Atma, directly. Therefore, we are outside the jurisdiction of the rule of serving the husband. According to the Vaiṣṇava viewpoint regarding the commentary of Śrīla Swāmipād, Yadu Uktam is explained in two different ways. Yadu Uktam? It's not just Yadu Uktam? So I'm really curious. I have to see. Yad Uktam. Okay, there's the word Uktam. And there's the word yat. I'm guessing you combine these two. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm wasting your time. Okay. According to the Vaiṣṇava viewpoint regarding the commentary of Śrīla Swāmipād, Yad Uktam is explained in two different ways. Firstly, Svāmī is accepted as master. Actually, it means soul shelter. Those who take shelter of Sri Bhagavan are not under the command of any religion or irreligion. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.41 states, "All those who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Mukunda by body, mind, and words are no longer indebted to the demigods, sages, family members, ancestors, or anyone else." In this way, bhakti to Bhagavan has superseded dharma, and this is also confirmed according to the objective reality, vastu vichar. Secondly, Śrīla Swāmipād has given the meaning of the word adhishtan as Ishvar, being the cause of the vitality of husband, children, and family members. The Shrutis, Katha Upanishad 2.2.15, Mundaka Upanishad 2.2.10, and Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6.14 confirm this. Yasya bhasa sarvam idam vipati. This whole world is dazzling due to the effulgence coming from Bhagavan. In the present verse, the word kila, meaning certainly, is in the mood of awe and reverence. Upadeshapade means the instructions given by Shastra and Guru culminate in the lotus feet of Sri Bhagavan. Some persons accept the position of a husband or a son, but you, as Atma and Paramatma, are the original basis. You're the Adishtan of husband and son. You are the source of their living force. So you are the only one to be served, even in service to their bodies. All the scriptures and all gurus prohibit. All scriptures and all gurus prohibit all the cheating religions and give instruction to worship only the lotus feet of Sri Bhagavan. The Gopis joked with Śrī Kṛṣṇa. You should keep to yourself these instructions regarding the service to the husband. When you assumed the irresistible feminine form of Mohini, did you practice the duty of serving a husband? Why not? You are Upadeshapada, the preceptor. If Guru gives the instruction to follow Dharma but does not practice himself, the disciple will not be inclined to follow that advice. The Gopis say Isha, Supreme Lord, to assert you are directly the Supreme Lord, and thus being expert in all the arts and in all fields of knowledge, you are qualified to practice such Dharma. You may think that no one will love you for disguising yourself as a woman, but you should not think like that, because you are loved by everyone. Indeed, because he has such a fascinating nature, he is loved by all, and that is why the Gopis said Preshtam, dearmost, and Bandhur Atma, close relative, indeed one's very self. Contrary meaning. Hey Śrī Kṛṣṇa, you are expert in Dharma. That is why you are instructing us to serve our husbands and children, this being a woman's foremost duty, a woman's Swadharma. Here the meaning of Swadharma is given as Su plus Adharma, extremely irreligious. Okay, so all this has been said in a mocking tone to accomplish a particular purpose. One should serve the actual husband, not the illusory one. You are that real husband, and you are to be served. The Gopis continue. You spoke this instruction. You, the all-powerful master, Isha, are capable of speaking and putting this into practice. So you are the most qualified recipient for this instruction. Krishna might ask, why? The Gopis reply, Tanu Bhritam, for all embodied living beings. You are the shelter of prem for 4 kinds of living beings. That's demigods in the sky, birds in the air, aquatics in the water, and other living entities who wander on land. So you are the shelter of prem for these 4 kinds of living entities in Vrindavan. You are the dearmost, preshtam object of love. As Bandhu, you are the cause and abode of prem. Thus, you are the soul. Srimad Bhagavatam 9.468 states, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham. Sadhus are my heart, and I am theirs. In this way, you are the object as well as the shelter of the saints' hearts, and vice versa, they for you. If you become indifferent to the unlimited sadhus in Vrindavan, then we can give up our attachment to our husbands, for they are also residents of Vrindavan, but few in number. Jokingly, the Gopis also state, this is the reason why you are so unconcerned about us. If we consider the phrase Bhartu Shushushanam, faithful service to the husband, in verse 24 in relation to the Gopis' words in this verse, the meaning will be contrary. Hey Krishna, you have commanded women to serve their husbands, children, and other family members as their prescribed duty. Let the recipient of this service be you, the Supreme Master, the instructor himself, as you are the dearmost friend and very soul of all living entities. We know very well how to deal with our husbands. There is no need to advise us any further in this regard. Let's see, how long is the Sārārtha Darśinī? Oh, it's a bit long. Okay, 3 pages. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. Then some prakara gopis spoke this verse starting with Yat, intending to defeat Śrī Kṛṣṇa through his own words. Reminding us of a woman's prescribed duty, you have commanded us to serve our husbands and other family members. We neither oppose your order, nor do we present any argument against it. On the contrary, we follow it all the time. You might ask, how do you observe it? We answer with Upadesha Pade. Apply this advice to yourself. You are the most qualified instructor of Dharma, and you are advising us to serve our husbands. We have come here to assist that. We have come here to assist that husband who is worthy of our devoted attention. So tell us, is there any husband other than you whom we shall serve? The scriptures tell us that we should first tend to the acharya and then later serve others. According to this logic, by attending to the acharya, one achieves genuine religiosity and thus attains the Supreme Lord. Furthermore, if the acharya is accepted as the Supreme Lord himself, then how can one find someone superior to him to worship? This means that when the Supreme Lord himself is the Guru, one is expected to serve him and no other husband. The gopis address Krishna as Isha, Supreme Master. You are dear to everyone as their true friends, since you yourself are the Supreme Controller and the soul of all beings. To serve a husband who accepts the presence of Paramatma is real dharma, but the scriptures do not approve to service to a husband who is against Paramatma. Husbands, sons, and other relatives are dead bodies without you. When someone dies, the relatives take the body to the cremation ground and perform the last rites. This is the process prescribed in the scriptures. You are the Supreme Lord incarnate. So by serving you, service to the husband is automatically accomplished. What is the purpose of serving a husband whose face has already been burned in a funeral pyre, because he is unaware that you are the super soul and is opposed to you? The objection might be raised that pure love naturally keeps Aishwarya Gyan covered. Therefore, how could these love-filled gopis have this knowledge of Krishna's majesty in their hearts? The answer to this is found in Śrī Narad Pancharatra, right? Not Pancharatna. And other such books, which record the symptoms of prema. These are explained in Śrī Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prema is by nature sometimes heating and sometimes cooling, and the combination of meeting and separation releases many different kinds of rasas. Thus, prema manifests an indescribable grandeur. Rupa Gosvāmī also writes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.138, Brahmanando bhaved aesha cherparada guni krita naiti bhakti sukam bodhe paramānutulam-api. If the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence of Brahmananda is multiplied by the number of days in Brahma's lifespan, it cannot be compared to a single particle of the pleasure of tasting the mellows of Śrī Kṛṣṇa's sweetness. This shows that the bliss of performing devotional service is vastly greater than the pleasure derived from Brahmananda. For the gopis, at the time of separation, the same bliss generates a drastic anguish, which is more intense than the heat of millions of suns. At this time, Sri Bhagavan's attributes related to Aishwarya and Madhurya are clearly manifested. That is, prema arising out of separation has a heating effect, and, like full sunshine, illuminates everything very clearly. Thus, all of the beloved's majesty and sweetness are revealed vividly. Nothing remains hidden. In contrast, when Krishna and the Vrajdevis meet, the same prema generates a bliss that is as cooling as millions of moons. and only his sweetness is visible. Meeting with Śrī Kṛṣṇa is nectarian, and the taste of this nectar, like the ambrosia of the moon, is so intoxicating that his majesty remains hidden. However, the prema at the time of separation is different. It is always dazzling, so it reveals both Aishwarya and Madhurya. Hence, if there is some Aishwarya bhav at the time of union, it indicates that the prema is immature. However, in this case, the Vraj Devis anticipate separation even while meeting directly with their beloved husband. And thus, due to their full-blown prema, they realize his Aishwarya and speak about his regal qualities. What to speak of prema revealing qualities that do exist? The power of prema is so great that it inspires one to glorify qualities that actually do not exist. Such a phenomenon of exaggerating qualities that are not factual is witnessed in the character of Bharat Maharaj, who, after seeing the footprints of the baby deer, said, Kim va are architam tapas tapasvinyanaya yaditam avini. Sorry guys, I'm starting to fade out. Oh, I'm finished. So they say this verse. Bharat Maharaj said this verse. This earth is most fortunate. What austerities has it performed that it is adorned with the footprints of the baby deer, and is thus used as a place for the Brahmans' fire sacrifices? That's from Srimad Bhagavatam 5.8.23. Jīva Gosvāmī has confirmed this. Alright, so that's our reading for today. Sorry guys, I'm a bit out of it right now, so I can't really talk too much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. I'm going to do a short and Jaidvani, just because I'm sleepy. So, Jai. Is it still recording? Oh, shoot. Oh, it is still recording. Sorry. Okay, Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Jai Shri Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Rāsa-pañcādhyāyī Ki Jai Śrīla Darśinī Par Ki Jai Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Par Ki Jai Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrindadevi Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Abhinna Vrindavan Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai Shri Indira Akadashi Titi Ki Jai Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Sarva Vraja Devi Gan Ki Jai Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini Shrimati Radha Thakurani Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaiṣṇava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Jai Vrindayi Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashaja Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. So I'll see you all for the next verse. Verse 33. And I don't know, I have to plan out tomorrow's reading still. But Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'm not going to say everybody's names because there's too many people, but I'm really grateful for you joining this reading. See you all tomorrow. Hari Bol.